Hey, this is my last free weekend before I go back to school. So I am getting myself in the mental mind frame of being a student, the mental mind frame of going to excel in medical school. Yay, right? But no, seriously, I got my hair done. My son is at school right now. I have to do some things for my grandparents because my grandmother was in ICU for a while. She's out now. She's in rehab and she needs like toiletries, clothes, and things like that. So, but the main purpose of this video is to talk about how I am going to enter into my second round of MD2 year. What I'm going to do differently, things I'm going to incorporate, and how I plan to make the best of this year. And technically, some of the classes I'm taking, I've only had one half of those courses. So I only took them from August to December. So I'm not really familiar with the material that's going to be presented January through May. But that doesn't negate the fact that I'm going to try to incorporate new things and different things into my regimen for second year. I'll definitely do a more in-depth video once I get to my lovely little sofa in my home, because right now I'm in this Atlanta traffic, and it's really only not even 1 o'clock yet, and there's so many people on the road, and it's so lovely to be in Atlanta. Yay! Time in medical school. Medical school is not meant to be fun, but that does not mean it can't be enjoyable. It does not mean that you can't use this experience to do things that benefit you and help you grow out in areas outside of medicine. And I say that because a lot of people automatically assume that when you go into medical school, it's books, 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 books. You know, you are stressed, you are tired, and that is a big part of medical school. But it's also joining interest groups, learning if you like primary care, if you like a specialty, meeting people that could potentially be lifelong friends and definitely lifelong colleagues that you can call on when you're in the field and when you're practicing. Being an activist sometimes, you know, showing that you are that well-rounded person that you wrote about in your personal statement, actually living that and being that. So I'm back. In a previous clip, I mentioned that I was going to talk about my approach to the second year of medical school this second go round. So let me just break that down to you. August 2017, I began second year of medical school. Halfway through, which was December going into January, I decided that I wanted to do a reduced load because of multiple reasons, because of the courses we were taking, because of life things I had going on, because of health reasons. So proceeding through with the spring semester of my first time doing second year medical school, I took a reduced load. So I only took a few of the courses that I needed to complete in order to proceed through second year. So this semester, or this year, 2018 through 2019, I will be taking the remainder of those courses so I can complete my second year, and this summer sit for step 1, which is board licensing exam that I need in order to progress into my third year of clinical rotations. So I have officially completed my first week back at school. We had orientation on Monday, and then Tuesday through Friday we had classes. Because my course load is reduced, I didn't have to go to all the classes during that time period. I only went to the classes I was enrolled in, and I kind of got a feel of, you know, the semester. Of course, these classes are a repeat because I did sit through all the classes first semester. So it's more so of a refresher for me as of right now, at least. But I've decided that based on my experience last year, I am definitely going to tweak some things to make sure that I'm able to handle the course load and to do the best that I can do and prepare myself for my boards. One thing I did do last year was I went to every single class, rain, sleet, or snow. Whether, you know, no matter how I was feeling, I went to every class. This year, I'm not going to do that. And this is just a personal decision that I'm making. I'm only going to go to certain classes with certain professors because I know that it would be the best usage of my time to make sure that I am actively engaged in class. And in some courses or with some professors, I'm not actively engaged. One thing I did do last semester when I was contemplating whether or not I wanted to decelerate was seek academic advice. So when I was deciding whether or not I wanted to decelerate, which is a term that we use in my school for an individual that reduces their course load or takes an additional year to complete their degree, I wanted to seek academic advice. I wanted to seek counseling, and I wanted to determine what are some of the hurdles that I was experiencing during my school year. So I did, based on recommendations by our clinical psychologist at school, I took the necessary steps to receive counseling, and it was determined at that time that I have ADD, something that I probably suffered from all my life, but because I always did well or was at the average or above average, I never felt like it affected anything that I did. But medical school is a different beast, and different stressors bring out different things in life and different conditions, and pretty much all the signs were there. My attention span in class was very low. I tend to do a lot of daydreaming. I did a lot of doodling, and I was not there most of the time. And for me, that is not an effective way to be a student in class. So I decided for particular courses or particular professors in which I found myself spending more time mentally not present in class, I would use that time better if I were either in the library or at home and I had a rigid schedule of what I needed to do during that hour. So for the classes that I will not be physically attending, I have a schedule set up so that I am going over the material that would have been presented in that class. We do have recorded lectures. Unfortunately, they're not live lectures, so I have to wait till they're uploaded to review them and to go over the material that was presented in class, but I still have the slides, the PowerPoints available, so I can always review those and use that as a guide to how I study. Also, pre-reading for me is really important. So for certain classes, I will watch videos prior to the lecture, and the video will be specifically on the topic that is being presented, and I'll use that to kind of prime my mind when I go into the lecture. So when I hear keywords or hear things that I probably heard in the video, I can either highlight them or note them as something that could be important or something that I may want to review, or words or topics that I heard in the video or read that I was not familiar with, to get further understanding either from class, after class, or through a textbook. And also reaching out to my professors and being more open with the things I'm experiencing in my personal life that may be affecting academic life. So just being more vocal, either during office hours or through email or just through any type of communication, talking to them to let them know, hey, this is going on. I need some additional help in this particular area because I'm not understanding it, or I'm the type of person I need to be able to go through practice questions. I see that you don't have any practice questions online. So can you point me to a source in which I can access different practice questions to prepare me for your material and also prepare me for your exams? So also what I did was, what I do is we get our academic schedule in the form of a PDF. I prefer it to be in the form of an Excel spreadsheet because I use that Excel spreadsheet to edit my calendar, because since I'm not taking all the courses calendar they provide, on Excel, I remove the courses that I'm not enrolled in so I can actually see what my weekly schedule is. I can see the free time, and it gives me a realistic view of how much time I have to study and prepare for each course. What I do is I will print out that Excel sheet on a full sheet of paper, 1 week on one side, another week on another on the opposite side. So I double side print. And then I leave space at the bottom and I write what my goals are for the week. So for this particular week, I wanted to pre-read every day. I wanted to review the lectures, and I wanted to take personal notes. And I also wanted to do a few questions. So I listed that for each class or each goal for each of the classes I'm enrolled in. And I view that every day. And then I usually write it down on Sunday what my goals are, and then hopefully by that following Saturday and Sunday I can evaluate how far I made it through those goals and if I need to tweak anything. The whole point of the goal list for me is to try to stick to it as best as I can. Life happens, so all the time you don't get to do everything that you have on your goal list, but it does give you a gauge of how much time you have to complete those tasks. So that's pretty much the gist of the things that I'm going to do differently as far as moving forward. Again, I'm going to choose very strategically which classes I attend, because I don't want to waste time in a class when I already need to go over the material at least 2 or 3 times in order for it to be solidified in my mind. I don't see the point in going to a class if I am wasting valuable time that I could be doing or using it for another purpose. Also, reaching out to my professors more, being more vocal. I am going to incorporate a study group as well into my regimen when I prepare for my exam. So it'll probably be 70% individual study, 30% group study, and I'm going to see how that works for my first few exam blocks, and then I'll tweak it based on that. I'm also going to incorporate board review a little bit earlier than the suggested time frame, just because I want to solidify information. And for me, repetition is key. That's how I learn. When I was most successful on the MCAT is because repetition of material, content, and question banks was what made me successful. And the more times I have to review the material, the better I am with analyzing it in a question format on an exam. So again, those are some of the things I'm going to do in my second round of my second year of medical school. I hope to be very successful, keeping a positive mind. And if you have any questions in regards to me going more in depth about my study plan or my schedule or materials and things like that that I plan to use, you can always leave a comment below, or you can email me and I can discuss that. Also, again, we're still looking for women and mothers who want to be featured in Mom's campaign that we have going on that will continue throughout the rest of the year. And my next video will talk about how I budget, mom with limited income and being a student and things like that, because by the time the next video comes out, I will have received my financial aid package from my school. Generally the way my school works is you receive your first refund for the semester 3 to 4 weeks into the term, or 3 to 4 weeks into the semester. So we started on the 12th or the 4th, started on the 14th, and by the 25th, we should know what we're being awarded, and no later than the end of August, we should have actually been awarded that. So I'll go through how I budget, and I generally budget for 6 months to a year based on what I receive, because that number is static. It's not going to change for this particular year unless I get incoming scholarships and other grants and things like that that I apply to throughout the year. But again, thanks for watching. I hope this was somewhat enlightening or helpful for you. Anyone who's had to take on additional courses or reduce a load and then repeat other courses. Again, if you have any questions, please let me know. If you have any questions about the nonprofit organization, Conceive A Dream Foundation, I would love to engage with you on that as well. Or any other questions that you have about parenting and being a student, I would love to be able to talk to you about that also. So thank you. Enjoy the rest of your week. I hope you have a marvelous Monday. And